We'll see where we want to go today. I have a couple different options, but we're probably going to go slower today and just kind of get into positions to make sure that we're not having any requisite tightness from getting out there more. So we'll start with golf clubs standing, and we're just going to start with some of our rotation. And again, hopefully as we go, like you see, we're not reinventing the wheel at this point. We're just trying to make sure that we're maintaining and we're not losing range of motion. And so one of the things for you guys as you're doing it, especially if you're getting out more, you're playing, doing things, what I want you to pay attention to is, all right, do I feel, I played yesterday, am I super tight today? Have I lost range of motion? Because that tells you potentially where to spend more time. Don't just ignore it and say, I played, I'm stiff. No, like make sure that you're looking to go back to where you were before. So you might have to do some more work now. And that's kind of the recovery aspect that we're looking for. All right. So let's grab a golf club. Let's get in a 5-iron posture. And let's just go really slow. So start taking inventory of how you feel. If you played this week, do you feel more loose? Do you feel more tight? Don't ignore it. All right. So we'll go 5-iron posture. No hips, just belly button up. So only logo. And start just getting abs working and just start working slow and controlled rotations. And that's it. So slow. I was a little stiff yesterday, so I'm using this to make sure that my abs are going to turn on and I'm going to feel a stretch in my mid back and not my low back. So a little bit more tilted. So Mark, go ahead in. You're more of like a golf posture. So you're holding like a 9-iron. There you go. Good. And now work rotation from there. Good. Now as you're going, what I want you to think about is when you get to the point where it feels stiff here for me, I'm going to just take a breath out. So that's just going to allow me to go a little bit further. But make sure it's not your lower back. Make sure that it's still just the mid back that you're feeling moving. And then let's go the other direction. Good. And then back the other way. And then the other way. Good. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing, slow and controlled, but let's get the hips moving. What I want to do today, actually, we're going to do it normally, like moving as if you're a right-handed golfer into your golf swing, but we're actually going to spend time pretending you're a lefty. Again, now that we're getting out more, we're taking a lot more swings in one direction, so we want to try and not get ourselves too funky in one direction, right? But we're not there yet. So now, slow and controlled, we just did just upper body, but let's include lower body now. So the visual that I want you to think about, and if you have one, you can use it. A chair, the back of a chair if you're near a wall, is now with your rotation, you're just going to push your butt back to the wall. And then you're going to push your other butt cheek to the wall as you rotate through. So now I'm just going into my swing, I'm moving my middle back, my thoracic, and I'm getting my hips involved a little bit. So by getting your hips involved, your butt's just sitting back. Good, and then your butt sitting back on the other way. And I'll exaggerate, as you can see the chair, when I sit back, my butt's pushing the chair back, and then as I go the other way, my butt's pushing the chair back, as opposed to sitting up straight and then going up straight. So go slow. The point of this is to go slow. So sit back, butt goes back, just breathe. No back pain with this. If you feel any back pain, either turn less or try to contract your abs more. And just breathe through. Good. Just nice and slow and control. Good. Okay, now we'll do the same thing, but actually finish your swing. So it's basically a full swing without your arms. So I'm going to go my backswing, and then I'm going to pivot through. Okay? So let's just do slow, 5 reps. And what I want you to feel, again, I want you to get an idea of what it's like to get a good rotation, sit your hips back, feel like you're transferring weight. Now transfer weight forward, stand up tall. When you finish your swing, what you should be able to do when you're standing up is you really want to think about squeezing your butt cheeks. If you can squeeze your butt cheeks on your finish, that means you've utilized your glutes. Again, this is a revelation for a lot, me included, as I've learned to try to use my legs more. When I stand up here, literally think about squeezing your butt cheeks. Now you know you've activated your glutes. So you're here, you're squeezing your butt. Squeeze your butt. Sit back, go through, stand up tall, squeeze your butt. That's your finish. What you'll notice is if you get to the finish position, squeeze your butt cheeks, that automatically takes some pressure off of your lower back. So if you squeeze here, you're not going to arch as much, which for most of us will cause us to be a little bit of back pain. So when you finish, squeeze your butt cheeks together. Okay, now we're going to screw everyone up, and we're going to become, if you're, we're all righty. Anyone a lefty on here? No, not today, right? We're all righties?
Dwight's a lefty.
Dwight, all right. All right, so, all right, we're half and half, actually. So we're gonna try working opposite now. So we're gonna go back through the same sequence, but pretend you're the opposite hand. Again, we just wanna make sure that we even ourselves out. So for me, I'm a righty golfer, so we're just gonna work our thoracic first, but I'm gonna pretend that for me, I'm golfing this way. So I'm just thinking about transferring weight onto my left, like I'm a lefty golfer, and then rotating through. If you're the then just switch the opposite. Mark, tilt a little more, get in your foot, that's it, stay in that posture. There you go, good. So if you're a righty, you should feel like pretend you're a lefty, and if you're a lefty, pretend you're a righty. Even the thought process makes me move a little bit different, even though it doesn't look different. Okay, now same thing, but let's include hips a little more. So I'm a lefty, so I'm swinging towards the screen here. So I'm going to think that I'm transferring weight back onto my left side. It should feel bizarre. It feels weird to me. Transferring on my left side, my butt cheeks going back, and now I'm transferring forward, and I'm going this way. Go slow, nice and slow. Two more. One more. Okay, now full swing without arms, okay? So I'm facing you guys like I'm hitting the ball at you. So I'm going to sit my left hip back. I'm going to rotate through, stand up tall, squeeze my butt cheeks. I lost my balance there. Hey, Mauro, you're doing good. Rotate even more, like you're finishing on that front side. The other, yep, and now the other way. Rotate. There you go. Good. Perfect. That was great. Dwight, when you stand now, when you go, if you're a lefty, now rotate, finish your swing. Go ahead. And now pause, stand up tall. Stand up tall. There you go. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Yeah, that's your finish. Good. That was good. Yep. So sit your butt back. Yep. There you go. That's it. That looks good. Should have been a righty. Good. A couple more. All right. Very good. Now, you're going to take your club, you're going to ground it in front of you, you're going to push. So when you push, it's just going to, hopefully you feel maybe your abs working a little bit. And remember, we've just done some pelvic tilts in the past, so let me just tuck my shirt in so you can see. Let's just do, we're not going to do a ton, but I just want to make sure you can do it. So we dump water out of the front. I'm going to go closer. We're going to push down. Our abs are going to be working. We're going to dump water out of the front of our pelvis. We're going to tilt our pelvis back and squeeze our butt. Okay? So tilt forward and tilt back. Tilt forward. Don't lose your abs. Keep pushing the club down. All right, good. Take a break. Okay, so now using that concept, when you're tilting one way and then the other way, those are what we call end ranges of motion. Between the two of those, that's a neutral posture. The way that we're all going to save ourselves from having back pain, the longer and the better we can stay neutral throughout our posture, the longer and better we're going to be able to play. So here's the drill. Just watch me once. I'm going to tuck my pelvis back all the way. I'm going to tuck my pelvis forward all the way. Then I'm going to go halfway in between. That should be my setup posture. So let's just do 3 reps, slow and controlled, making sure we're keeping everyone honest, that we remember what neutral is. So tuck our pelvis back, tuck our pelvis forward, find a neutral position halfway. If you want to just set up posture from there, your golf posture, that should be where you're at. Okay, just do 3 of those, okay? So tilt your pelvis back, tilt your pelvis forward, halfway. One more. Back, forward, halfway. I can tell you this position here for you guys that we're doing this with, if any of you are doing any exercises on your own, any weight training or anything like that, it's the same thing. I have a new patient that I've been working with. She likes to lift weights and do a lot of cardio-based classes, and her biggest problem is that she exercises all the time in this position and her back is just on fire. So what I'm doing with her is I'm helping her figure out how to go back and literally do squats and all this different motion by just figuring out where neutral is. And it's like reteaching her how to move. For us trying to play golf, this is what it looks like. So if we're arched or we're rounded all the way and then we go to swing the golf club in one of these positions, that's what's going to cause back pain. So once we find that kind of spot in the middle, if we can think about taking our golf swing and staying there, that's how we stay healthy. Okay.
Justin?
Yes,
Justin, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you're in your back, as a right-handed golfer, when you're in your back swing, okay, and your hips are now moved around,
okay. Yep.
Are your hips still parallel to the ground, or are you tilted up with your right hip higher, or do you want to stay parallel to the ground?
It's actually a great question, and it depends. The real answer is whatever makes you feel healthy, right? Because you'll see some people that teach like really tilted right hip high. That's going to be a little bit more challenging. What I would suggest for you is think about staying more neutral. So don't let this happen. If you are going to get any tilting, you want it to come from the upper body. If you start getting here, I know that causes me a lot of back pain. So I would suggest just rotating through and trying to stay more neutral. And if you do have any tilt, it's up here as opposed to down here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because yeah, you'll look, and again, it depends on flexibility and range of motion. I would don't look at what guys do on tour because those guys have crazy ranges of motion. But what I would think about doing is, okay, I'm in a neutral position and then I'll rotate back this way. I would imagine the longer you can stay in this position here, and Shannon, I don't know if you'd agree or disagree, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, because I find that the more I tilt, the greater the chance of me coming up through the swing, which you don't want to do. Correct.
Yep. Yeah. I 100% agree. The other point to that, where a lot of guys get in trouble, is that the reason why right-handed golfers would have right-sided back pain is a lot of times that they'll get into this huge position, like you're talking about, that right hip will get really, really high. And then in transition, they literally take it and switch it where it goes really, really low, and they crunch the right side of the low back. So it goes from really high to really low. And so theoretically, you can do it so long as you manage it appropriately. But people like me, people like you, we probably can't. So I would just say I would keep it more square. And from there, I would just work through the swing in that way.
Okay, thanks. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. But so if you're a right-handed golfer, the most common complaint is right-handed lower back pain. If you're a left-handed golfer, you'll get left-sided lower back pain. And that's one of the reasons that you go from a position here and to a position here, and your spine is moving. Essentially what happens is during your swing, your pelvis will naturally move. The people that get in trouble are the ones whose pelvis moves too much and can't really control that motion, which is why for us, one of the really nice drills that I would focus on for that reason is that tilting back, tilting forward, finding neutral, and then going through some practice swings where you're focused on keeping that position. And I can feel like when I do that, my abs automatically stay turned on, which is what we're all trying to do, okay? Cool. All right, now, if you have a wall or a chair, we're gonna do some single leg deadlift balance work. You can do this two ways, okay? So if you don't have anything to balance with, you can use your club. If you do have something else, what I want you to do is you're gonna just hold your club on, or turn it upside down, put the butt of your club on your foot. So you have this position here. And what we're going to do is a single leg, we call it a deadlift or a hinge, but it's for balance. So if you feel okay without using something, you can. If not, use something. And I'll go from the side as well so you can see. So I'm here. And then I'm just going to work sitting my butt back. Keeping my back neutral, sitting my butt back. That looks awesome. Good job. If your balance feels funky and you feel like you can't sit back as far, I'd rather you hold on to something to get a little bit more range of motion. Okay, I'll show you from this direction. Okay, so you're here, sit your butt back, and stand up tall. Let's do 10 on each side. You guys keep going and I'll talk you through what this, because I want you guys I want to translate it for you into why it's important. Because most of the times we just do exercise and we don't really know why we're doing them. This exercise for you guys is super important because this to me is very similar to when you go to sit in your backswing and you put the weight on your back leg, you're loading your hip and you're putting most of the pressure onto your back side. And this is basically practicing your ability to do that, right? And then when we finish our swing, we've got 90% of our weight on our front side and we're still utilizing that hip. So making sure that we're going through that range of motion is super useful. And so once you do 10, just take a pause. Again, if you're getting any back pain with that, make sure you're not moving at your spine. Contract your abs a little bit. Anything that you can do. Just teach yourself to stabilize at the core and not at the lower back. Good. There you go. Really good. All right, now we're going to do the same thing. It should be easier, but double leg. So let's take your club, put it behind your back. Remember our 3 points of contact. So the club should be on your head, on your middle back, and on your hips. And we're going to work what we did then in that warm up, but we're going to go slow and work on just sitting your hips back, right? So this is just for you guys to remember that we're not swinging a golf club and being straight up. We're just letting our hips work, and then we're letting our hips work. So same type of thing. So sit your butt back, stand up tall. When you stand up tall, squeeze your butt cheeks. It looks good, everyone's good. Now, as you're doing it, think about your abs working. So you're working your glutes, you guys got the movement pattern. If I was there and I came up and punched you in the stomach, it should be tight. Don't let me punch you in the stomach. That's you activating your abs. So you should feel stretch in the hamstrings. Abs are working. Glutes are squeezed. Do about 15. Good. So I've seen, I think it was Adam Scott, but him doing a drill because he gets caught in being too upright through his swing. So I've seen him do a drill golf-wise where he's exaggerated to the point where he gets here, and then his exaggeration, his feel, is literally doing this. So he'll get his backswing, and then he literally thinks about doing that so that in reality it's this. But the idea is that we're getting to the top, and we want to make sure we're using our hips where we feel like we're letting our butt come back and our arms are sweeping through. So that's why we exaggerate the position, because feel versus real, right? If we don't do this at all, the feeling that we have is that we're like doing this, when in reality it's probably this, okay? Let's just do one more set here, and then we'll turn it over to Shen. So hands behind your head. If this bothers your shoulders, you don't have to keep it behind your shoulders. You can just hold one arm. Even if it bothers your shoulders, you can put the club on your thighs. It's the same motion. Stand up tall. Good. Squeeze. So I have to continually to tell myself to activate abs because I get into the position where I turn them off. All right, good. Good job. You guys are moving really, really well. Shannon, you ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
Are we coming back to you, or is it just me for the next half hour?
You want to come back? We can get them a little tired and then just get them back into some of the, basically review what we did. So maybe do 10, 12 minutes, and then we'll go back into some single leg hinging just to test kind of balance after with a little fatigue.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll do 2 sets.
Yeah,
2
for sure.
circuits. We'll do 3 exercises in each one. Okay. All right, guys. All right, so we're going to go back to some cardio. We're going to work on that. Let's see. Let's get my video here. All right, so we're going to work on the cardio we did a couple weeks ago where we jumped over and back on the golf club, and then we're going to go into a switch leg lunge. So that's going to look something like that. So we're just going to go, and we'll use the arms, and then we're going to go into reverse lunges where we rotate. So kind of a little progression. So we're going to do 20 seconds on. Oh, sorry, it'll be a minute with 30 seconds rest. So we'll get 6 minutes in each circuit. So here we go. We've got our golf club on the floor, and we're just going back and forth. So kind of like a little split stance here. We just want you kind of moving, right? So swing those arms, get the feet going. We're about halfway there. Okay, this is nice and easy. Just don't trip on your club. 35 seconds in. 20 seconds to go. 10. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Let's rest for 30. All right. Speaker view. Okay, there we go. All right, and then we're gonna hit those switch feet. So you're gonna pause. So you're gonna go. So we'll switch that in about 8 seconds. We're going for a minute there. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's basically just nice and easy on the balls of your feet, and I just want you to pause. So we're kind of gonna work out the quads and the glutes here. So Move those arms. Nice and easy again. Yep, you can swing them really high if you want. Awesome. Okay, 30 more seconds to go, guys, right here. Yep, so there's a pause. Awesome, Dwight. I see you kind of just taking it one step at a time. That's great. If that's where, honor where you are today. You need to make it a little bit lower impact, totally fine. Yep, keep going, 15 seconds. Swing those arms. And we've got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 30-second rest here. And then we're gonna go into some reverse lunges. Whew, all right. And those reverse lunges will be a step back, right? So my heel is up, my back knee is at 90 degrees, and I'm gonna rotate over my forward knee. I'm gonna do that pretty controlled. If you wanna go a little faster, you absolutely can. Here we go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So reverse lunge, nice and easy. I want those knees behind the toes, up front. And I really want you to get a nice rotation. If you want your golf club in your hands, that's fine. Drive your front heel through the floor. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Most important. Awesome. We're halfway there. Just keep on rotating, alternating sides. So this is a reverse lunge, Dwight. We're going backwards. Reverse lunge. So step back. There you go. We're stepping back.
Dwight, if you're standing straight, Dwight, if you're standing straight, just step back.
Back. Yep.
There you go. That's it.
We'll have another round, Dwight. Don't you worry. 3, 2, 1. Rest here for 30. Awesome, guys. We're going to go back to our first exercise, which was our hop over the golf club in about 30 seconds.
Dwight, those are actually better for your knees too.
The reverse
You don't have
lunges.
to bend your knees as much, so the reverse ones are good for you can use your hips more, which is good.
Yeah, no, I know I was lunging too far forward.
Yeah.
Glad you caught me off there.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, guys. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 1 minute, backwards and forwards. Just a nice, easy little jog here. I did my hair, and now it's getting sweaty because I have that Instagram live at 1:30 with George. If you're not playing yet, tune in. You might get a nice little tidbit that you don't already know. So back and forth again. Don't trip over your golf club as I do it. Good quick feet, guys. Awesome job, fellas. Awesome job for the guys that I can see. Well done. 10 seconds. Here we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest for 30. Woo, my hips are burning. Nice. 30 seconds, grab a little sip, and we're gonna go to those sort of stop switches. And again, this is balls of the feet. Don't want you lunging out too far. So make it sort of a small movement, but really move those hands. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So just kind of stop there. You can go chugga train movements or in the sagittal plane. If these are hurting your knees, you can just do step outs that are nice and easier, or you can kind of go a little bit higher impact on the toes. Thanks, guys. We're halfway there. This is the last round in this circuit. Yep, take it as low as you want to. 20 seconds. We just move those arms, big shoulder movements. 10 seconds here. And 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. We'll rest for 30, and we're gonna hit our reverse lunges as the last exercise in this circuit. Second set. Ooh, right. Nice. Nice job. 15 seconds. Reverse lunges, going back, stepping back. Here we go. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So step back and rotate. So it's like a genuflect for those guys who've maybe been to Catholic church. A little genuflect, a little, not quite a kneel, but a little 99 knee bend and rotate. So we're getting that rear hip. We also want to get that rotation through the thoracic spine. Halfway there, guys. Keep that torso nice and tall for a neutral spine. Good, we've got 20 seconds. Let me get a nice rest. 10. And we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, take a minute rest here. Grab a good sip of water. Awesome. We've got some lateral work next. So we're gonna go basic skaters. Then we're gonna go a little bit higher impact skaters. Then we're just gonna go stepping, but we're gonna add in a pulse on those triceps. Really open up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. We can go up or we can go sideways. And then we're gonna do squat with a lateral leg lift. Can't get you out of here without a squat today. Sorry about that, guys. So hopefully, Roger and Mauro, you guys will be all nice and warmed up for your round this afternoon. So, all right, we got 10 seconds and we're going into skaters. Again, this is whatever you want it to be, high impact, low impact, 3, 2, 1. So here's your low impact, right? It's just a nice side to side. Your high impact is a little hop off of the balls of the feet. Really move those arms. Try to stick that landing. Even give me a little rotation. Open up that chest a little bit, side to side. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. We're already halfway there. Awesome. 30 seconds. Yep, so whatever you can do, just want you to feel it on the AD or abductors on the outside of your thighs, outside of your hips. Work that lateral strength and control. 15 seconds. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ooh, and rest for 30. Ooh, yeah. All right. Awesome. So again, the next movement we're gonna do, we're gonna add in some arms. So I'm gonna pulse in, but you can also pulse up. I'm gonna switch halfway through and pulse up, and then you can see a little tricep work there. So I'm just gonna kind of step it nice and fast, kind of keep that moving in 3, 2, 1. So here we go. I'm gonna pulse in. My palms are gonna face each other, but I'm opening up my shoulders, opening up my chest, puffing it out, right? I'm popping my chest, trying to stay in neutral spine, but I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, and I'm getting a really nice squeeze in my triceps. So we just wanna feel that for some, so my hands are going behind my back. Yep, exactly, Dwight, good job. That's it, Roger. Nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press up. So I'm going to press my palms to the ceiling while I'm continuing to just sort of laterally just move back and forth. So I'm really feeling those triceps now. And again, I'm keeping my shoulders out of my ears. The shoulders are down. My chest is up. And my shoulder blades are squeezing together. Palms going up. Palms towards the sky. 3, 2, 1. And rest. Woo. Rest for 30. Nice. Last exercise in this set is going to be the squat. And we're just going to come up with a little lateral raise. Yeah, we're going to feel that right in the working area of those hips. Ooh, so Moro, for that hip surgery, that hip replacement you have, we're going to really make him work. All right, here we go. So squat, come up, lateral raise. So with your squats, remember we want to sit back into our heels. Keep our torso nice and tall, pelvis neutral. Only go as far as you want into your squat. Nice, guys. We're halfway there. Ooh, yeah. I'm burning. Burning, feeling it in my hips. Good job, Dwight. Nice. Nice, guys. Well done. We got 20 seconds right here, and then we get a 30-second rest. Ooh, a little strength in those legs and the glutes. Ooh. And we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest it. Rest it for 30. Stretch it out. So kind of stick out those hips either side. Oh, you can get that figure 4 pose. Push out that rear hip because that might just tighten up on you guys. Keep it nice and hydrated. Oh, some good stretches to it. All right, 10 seconds. We got one more round here. So we're going skaters, side steps with triceps, and squats. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Skaters. Right, so now we're just, the arms are in front of us now, and they're kind of swinging side to side. Yep, and give me a little rotation, open up that chest to either side, a little thoracic spine twist to each side that you skate to. So we're trying to work the shoulders, trying to work the hips. Keeping the low back protected today. We're halfway there. So in a way, we're kind of going through our swing, right? So just real big dramatic motions of that swing. 15 seconds right here. Last one with the skaters. 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Rest for 30. Whew. Side steps with tricep. Side steps and triceps. Oh yeah. So again, we're gonna go palms together and then palms up behind the back. So, and we've got 10 seconds here. Get a quick little rest. You can keep that active move if you want with a little jog. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here we go. Side step, palms are facing each other, and we're fluttering, right? We're feathering those arms behind our back. My shoulders are nice and long and low, and I'm really tightening my arms. I'm really working just body weight resistance, going back and forth as fast as I can. If you don't want to move, that's okay. You can stand still, but just move your arms. 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to press up. So I'm pressing my palms and feathering them to the ceiling. So I'm feathering them away from my body. Again, shoulder blades are back and down. I am feeling this in my back muscles and my tricep muscles. We got 10 seconds. So it's just a nice, easy little pulse. Pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest for 30. We've got our last exercise, our squats. You guys are troopers. So we're at about 17 minutes or so, and that gives Justin And I another like 15 for a review and maybe a quick cool down. So, whew, all right. And we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Squat with lateral raise. Sit back in your squats, weights in your heels, knees are behind those toes. No knees in front of the toes. Try to keep the shoulders out of your ears. Like you're sitting in a chair, but then you decide to get up. Yeah. So the only thing I'm really moving is my hips. My back isn't moving, my hips, and then obviously I'm using my legs laterally to kick up here. But I'm not rounding my back, my shoulders are staying nice and relaxed. And I'm sitting back like I'm in a porta potty. And then I'm standing up and I'm laterally raising. 10 seconds, guys. Woo. Come on, we got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Woo. Nicely done.
All right, if you need a quick sip, grab it. If you don't, let's go right into it so we can do this ideally while you're test your balance. So we're going back to our single leg deadlifts. So use your club. Again, if you need something to balance, that's okay. Let's go 10 on each side. So we're gonna sit back. Now what you wanna pay attention to is, were you good the first time and now that you're tired, it's a little bit more challenging. So let's do it under fatigue. So let's go 10 on each side, or single leg hinge. So use the club. If you need to balance or something, that's okay. Sit your hip back. Try to feel your core. Try to feel your hips. Ideally, you should be breathing a little heavy. Now, obviously, generally speaking, on the golf course, you're not going to be breathing heavy, but there is a fatigue factor, especially as the weather gets warmer, that we just want to make sure that we're aware of. And when you get to 10, switch sides. Try to really use your abs still. Try to sit your hips back. Try to make sure that you're balancing well. Four, 9, 10. Okay, good. Now 2 legs and go back to your hip hinge. Stick on the back, sit hips back, and we'll do 10 here. We'll do 10 here. We'll do one more exercise and we'll get a nice cool down. All right, last one for our exercise, then we'll get a nice easy cool down. Let's just go 10 easy rotations with the upper body, just the logo on your shirt. Hopefully you feel even a little looser because your body's loose. Something else to think about, guys, depending on how much you want to put into this. If you feel like you have more mobility, range of motion, and stability now after going through, a little bit of a workout, and you want that feeling on the golf course, potentially it's something to think about if you have the time before you get there. Go through a 20-minute warm-up / exercise. We're not telling you to kill yourself, but enough to get the body moving a little bit. And again, everyone's different. So you guys might feel amazing right now. You might be spent. If you feel good right now, that means it might be something to think about doing before you get out there. All right, good. Just take a break. Now grab a sip. Everyone grab a sip now. Let your heart rate get down. I just wanted to do that while you're still a little fatigued. Shannon, I was going to go through 2 or 3 mobility for a cool down. Anything else? If you want to add any, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, maybe it's just some like traps or neck stretches because we just kind of did a lot of that squeezing.
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do now, I'm going to show you 2, I would say, post-round mobility drills that you can do before you get into your car, without sitting down, without any equipment, that I would recommend if you could do two things, right? These are the ones that I generally try to do. So again, just think about it logically for a sec. You just spent most of 3 to 4 hours in some version of this position, and then if you're in a cart, you're in this position, right? Most of you'll finish your round, and for now, you're either get right in your car and go home, or eventually, hopefully, we can sit around and hang out a little bit. But we're just doing this more, and then we let our body cool down in this position. And by the end of it, it feels like we're so hard to get up. So we just want to do things to reverse that posture. So something super easy to do, which we'll all do together, standing up tall, hands on your hips. And I just want you to try and go slow and control and just try to just open everything up here. Open everything up. You can go forward and just hang out. Good. You just want to push your hips forward and move backwards. Ideally, before you get into your car to go home, if you can't, sometimes for me, this is what I do when I get home. Also not a bad idea if you play, obviously, before you go to sleep and you come home, even you do a little stretching, then have dinner before you go to sleep too, because your body will tighten up overnight. If you always know that you feel stiff the next morning, before you go to sleep is a good time to do it. Just do a couple, try to regain that motion. All right, then the next one, so the real way to do this one is you put your leg up on the couch. It's called the couch stretch. But again, we're going to pretend you're at the course. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to put one foot in front of the other, kind of in a lunge position. And now you're just going to push forward so you feel a stretch in the front of this back hip, right? So if you feel super tight in the front or the back of the hips, we want to just get these quad muscles on the front side just to loosen up. So you can do a couple things here. You can kind of pulse into it and come out of it, pulse into it, come out of it, or you can just find a stretch and hold it. Now, again, some of the stuff that we've done already, it holds true here. So this is my right leg. I'm actually squeezing my right butt cheek now, and my core is engaged as opposed to trying to just lean this way. So my abs are engaged, my glute is squeezed, and I'm just pushing forward. Now I feel a nice subtle stretch in this back hip. Good. Now switch sides. Forward, back. Squeeze that glute. Stay up tall. If you guys, so you'll know that this is a good position and stretch for you if you're one of those guys that finishes their swing and you feel like you're kind of forward as opposed to being upright. This is the stretch for you. This is going to open up your hip and squeeze your glute. When I get tight, that's how I end up. I end up kind of here a little bit as opposed to being tall. So that ability to squeeze those butt cheeks and open up those hips, if that's one of your problems or issues, this is a really good stretch to do. Stretching the hips. So those would be the two main ones. And also Shannon mentioned doing some neck stretches, which we've done. Again, the more you do, the better. So just, we'll look straight ahead, hand over, and let's just get a nice, easy stretch with this. For me, neck stretching is one of those things that no one does, even lightly. And so even a little bit of this, a lot of times you can feel significantly better by just getting moving a little bit. And then switch sides. We talked about it last class, but you don't think about a neck problem in golf until you have one, because if you think about it, when you take your backswing, your neck is actually, even though it doesn't feel like it's rotating relative to the rest of your body, it is. So if you do have neck limitation, in theory, it could really mess you up. Good. Now, another one we can do is look straight down, and you can just take your hands and just push a little bit. I feel this one like all the way down my back. And just breathe and let it relax. Good. Now, we'll do a rotation. So look one way, and then what you can do, so if I'm looking to the right, I'll just take my right hand and just give myself a little bit of a twist. Nothing crazy, just a nice little easy twist. And I'll just kind of pulse into it, feel stretch, and back out. Really easy. Good. Just to kind of show you, if you were a right-handed golfer and you have a limitation and it hurts to rotate to the left, that's your backswing, right? So if you do this and you're like, wow, one side is worse, potentially that could be a limiting factor in your backswing. Or again, we start playing this game of, I can't keep my head square, so what's my next compensation? Do I shift off the ball? Do I do something else there just because of a rotational problem all the way up the chain? All right, last one, just open up your chest. Keep your eyes open, and don't do this if you think it'll make you dizzy, but just look straight up to the sky. Just open up everything. All right.